And we're on. I think we're on. We should be on.
Looks like we're on.
Yep, it looks on. We just popped up in your feed.
It says live and
Big
recorded.
thing, yeah. The big thing is that we're on like right on time. This is not usual. We're on
Oh
like
yeah.
working.
Oh, we had 10:59 on top of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When we
Mm.
came in early, got a little over OT going on here. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome everybody to the Heyward-CPA-LIVE podcast. The podcast where we discuss business.
The discussions.
Business.
We discuss the discussions.
Yeah, we discuss the discussions. We talk business from an angle that may not ordinarily be explored. You know, so it's an evolving show too. You know, we have things we have going on. We talk about some good conversations. So we welcome you this morning. We welcome everybody. I need to change on. Yeah, I need the dark mode. Okay, now I feel back home. I am once again in the remote location. I'm in the brother Core over there. This is his spot. He got things going. But I mean, first and foremost, though, we do have to say, I think we said that happy birthday early on the last episode that we were on. But you know, we saying what up. You know, like, hey, you've had a lot going on in the last week or so.
Yeah, I'm still in recuperation mode, you know. It was great, good fun, man, good stuff. My son graduated. That was a big deal, big deal, you know. He's on his way to med school, you know. So, you know, I'm about to get hang my boat up on my vision board, you know. So every time he come home and walk past it, it get like indelled in his brain.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, you putting in your order now? I'm putting in my order, bro. Like, yo,
absolutely.
That's what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But yeah, it was good fun, man. They surprised me, so it was good. You know, they did their thing, pulled it off. You know, they tried to sniff a couple of things past me. You know, some things got by. You know, but other than that, it was effective. It was effective. It was fun. It was great.
Okay. All right. Beautiful.
Yeah. Good morning and thank you. Yes.
Yep. We got some of our studio audience on the screen here, but
no doubt.
I mean, I'm gonna say my foolishness for later. I think you had somebody in the lobby here.
Yeah. I'm about to bring them on in. So
I'll let you introduce all that, and you know.
Yeah. So we got a special guest on here. You guys are gonna be seeing his face, you know, at random times on our live. Young man, I'll let him tell you about himself, but he's a young man. I've known him for a very long time, very long time. He's best friends with my son. He just recently graduated. He's also family too. You know, part of the bloodline as well. And so, you know, one of the things that we try to do, not just to only help out our clients and create, you know, opportunities for clients to grow by providing services, resources, and information. We also involve with, you know, interns of the different colleges, different industries that they're pursuing, different organizations and associations. And we just here to just continue passing whatever information and resources down to help build those that follow behind us, because we can't keep it all to ourselves, right? So, you know, just want to welcome this young man to the stage. His name is Christian Cruz. Hello, Christian.
Good to be here. Thank you for bringing me on, Kory.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. This is your first. This is your second time because you met Mr. Heyward when we came to the NABA event years ago.
Oh wow!
Right. So I don't know if you remember him, but this is my partner. Yeah. So welcome to the stage, man. I hope. Did you hear your introduction?
Yeah, definitely. It was great. It was
Okay. All right.
flawless.
Well, floor is yours. Tell the world who you are, what you're about, what you're trying to do, and where you're going.
Yeah. First off, do I refer to you as Mr. Heyward or?
I mean, that's cool. Yeah, it's whatever. Whatever you feel, it's good. I get called a lot of things, but most of them I can't say out loud. But
But yeah, thank you for bringing me on board. I'm Christian. I'm a recent graduate from NC State. I got my bachelor's of science in marketing, so I have a lot of experience in marketing research, sports marketing, sales, and so forth. But yeah, I'm glad that Kory is bringing me along here. I have a growth mindset, so I'm just looking to learn it any way I can. Yeah, that's pretty much it about me so far.
Oh man, the question.
Somebody said call him Mr. James.
Yeah, call me
there
Mr.
you go.
Mr. James, okay.
Mr. James.
Will do.
I might legally change my name to that soon.
To Mr. James, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, got a ring.
All right.
MISTA. Mr. So, MISTUH. So, I don't know if you had preset questions, but I'm coming off the top just with what you just said. And the fact is that as a recent grad, you studied marketing. And I don't know. I feel we find that a lot of small businesses don't understand marketing. They understand. They confuse marketing with advertising and promotion. And as a student of marketing, can you just give us like a short definition for those out there of what, because you just came out of studying it, what marketing is in business?
Yeah, I would say it's about communicating value, building value for the product. So you have to make sure the customer understands why your product has value, and basically you kind of have to explain why it's worth the price that you're setting for it as well. So you kind of have to just sell your product, and it's not. I mean, the product isn't necessarily yours. If it's your brand, it's really the person who is purchasing it. It's their product, so you have to cater it towards their needs and what they're looking for.
I like that. I like that. See, this is why we study. We study through the youths. So he just got out. So he says that. So there's also a case what, like for me, is to say there is the theory of marketing, and then there's the practice of marketing. So there's a concept. We go over this a lot. We talk about mission, strategy, tactics. So there are marketing tactics, there's a marketing strategy, there's a marketing mission. What you just mentioned to me is the mission. That's the mission, but to communicate the value and make the person that's recipient, the target customer, say, yeah, I want this, I want this service, I want this product. So what do you think, or how do you think a small business can approach it? Because I know they taught you at a high level, like they taught you like corporate stuff, but have you been able to digest that and be like, you know what, if I had a lemonade stand or something while I was selling t-shirts, how I would apply what I learned? Have you thought about that type of stuff yet?
I would say a little bit, because I did work with a small client over the past semester on their marketing. I feel like for a small business, it is a lot. Well, no, it isn't a lot different. But as a small business, you might have to focus on building credibility first and making sure that you have a working product so you can build that trust. Because you're new, and you're approaching a new market, so you just have to build that trust with your customers through having a great product, or just being able to hear the customer's feedback. And be able to apply it to your product to make it better.
Okay, so how important? I studied a little something on it, but that's market segmentation. Some people try to they don't know who their target is. They just say, well, I'm going to put up my store, my e-commerce store, or I'm going to start my professional practice. In some cases, I'm going to start a nonprofit or religious organization. I'm just going to start it. I'm opening the door. We'll see what happens. What do you say the importance of market segmentation is?
Yeah, it's extremely important because customers do want to have that personalization. Like they want to feel like your product is for them or your service is for them. But at the same time, marketing is something that rarely works on the first time. So like it takes a bunch of trial and error in order to make it successful. So you just got to learn how to be resilient, learn how to be told no, and learn how to pivot from that.
Nice.
But yeah, market.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say market segmentation is extremely important, for long-term success within a company.
Beautiful. Mr. Franklin, I yield.
You yield back. Well,
I yield
okay.
back.
Here's a question for you. What metrics do you feel is important when evaluating an organization's marketing campaign?
I would say it depends on the kind of marketing you want to do. Like, so if you want to do digital marketing, you focus on like, your click rates, your interactions, stuff like that. Yeah, I say it depends on, the marketing team that you're working with because they all go off different metrics. So, in my recent project, I was on the social media team, but we had another team working with the same client who was doing the paid search. So we had to work on completely different metrics. Like we would focus on followers, likes, comments, and they would focus on, cost per click, how many people are visiting the website and so forth.
Okay. I know you're still early in it, but what do you find that might be common in the digital marketing space in terms of marketing? Commonly, when I say common, what are businesses missing? What are owners missing? What are the messages that might be missing, and what are the targets that might be missing?
That's a good question. I'm
No
not too
wrong
sure.
answers. No wrong answers.
Yeah,
No wrong answers.
I'm not too
Yeah.
sure if I can give you a definite answer on that one because it definitely varies by company,
Right.
by
Okay.
size, by situation. So
I'll jump in.
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead, Mr. James.
But it's from knowing small businesses. This comes over all again. Many small business, or whatever small businesses, what have you, they start with the vocation of whatever they do, so they don't really know marketing. I mean, I don't know if even taking a marketing class. I don't know if they take marketing classes, in different disciplines. So the concept, I think most people get marketing as being marketed to, so they don't ever reverse the lens and say, okay, I'm trying to, I have to touch people in a certain way, so they don't, they just oblivious to it. It's like accounting, it's like
Mm-hmm.
they just don't have an orientation. And it's really interesting because marketing is way sexier than accounting. So it's interesting that people don't, it's kind of like they don't want to do it. If we go to the 7 system things, most of the 7 systems, other than customer
Mm-hmm.
fulfillment, people know customer fulfillment. But the other 6, they don't have experience in it and they don't feel inclined to learn. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why we're here today, to teach.
yeah.
Hey, Christian, what got you into choosing this as your focus industry, marketing? What sparked that about you?
Yeah, so I kind of always been interested in social psychology, but I never wanted to be a therapist. And my dad is in business too, so he really got me. I wanted to do entrepreneurship at first, but then I realized how
Mm-hmm.
broad it was, and that's something I would do down the road. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to start off with consumer behavior. I've done work with Beats. I've done marketing research on campus. So getting my feet wet with that. Conducting interviews, conducting surveys. I found that I had a love for that. So yeah, I'm just looking to continue learning that, and I've also had sales experience. Definitely, I had to cold call some alumni to try to get donations out of that, out of them. It was definitely my toughest experience, but I would say it was the most impactful for my professional development. So, marketing is very broad. So I'm just looking to build as much experience as I can to feel like, to learn which segment is the best for me and the one I can be the most successful at.
Well, you mentioned something multiple times in here while you were speaking, and I want you to speak a little bit more to defining what marketing research is.
Oh, define what marketing research is?
Yeah, define it for folks. Like, what is marketing? I mean, we know what you're talking about, but I just and give an example of like what you did on campus while you were in school.
Yeah, it's pretty much finding the why, finding the knack behind what makes people want to purchase your brand. So there's an analytical side, and there's also the qualitative side as well, which is your surveys, actually talking to people to figure out what makes them want to buy and what makes them also want to avoid the failure from not purchasing your product. I do want to mention Mr. Heyward is in the chat dropping some good gems as well. He dropped the 4Ps starting with the compelling story. So I wanted to shout that out. Those are also great
that's
points.
Pastor Heyward.
That's Pastor Heyward.
Yeah, that's Pastor. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
See, this guy is good. He picked that up on that. Yep, you talked the 4Ps. So that's part of the Okay.
Right. But marketing research is both qualitative and quantitative. So you have to use both in order to find the why behind people's purchasing habits.
Excellent. Yeah, that's just it's education. Yeah, look, folks, if you have a question, drop it in the chat. We have somebody that has, it's fresh. Most of us out here haven't sat down with a book and been tested in a while. I'll just say a while. So he's fresh. He can give you the answers. Because I feel like my I have experience in marketing, but one of the things, like right behind my belief in accounting, is marketing. It's the place where I see that small businesses, they suffer. They just don't. There's in small business, based on the type of business, but a lot of times you sell to your universe, to the people that are around you, your sphere of influence, and once you kind of drain that, then you kind of stuck, and then your revenues either stagnate. You may be doing well, but the revenues are stagnate. So people say, okay, I need to do something. I need more customers or something. And what they usually do is they jump to advertisement, and they jump to, I was going to say promotion, handing out flyers and stuff like that. But what they don't do, by not understanding what marketing is, they don't evaluate who's already buying from them, the characteristics of those people, and finding out why they're buying from you, and then seeking that group of people, expanding with that group of people. They keep, trying to beat their head against the wall through advertisement. Sometimes the advertisement doesn't match your marketing theory or what you're trying to do. And it's really overwhelming. Now, you mentioned you worked with a smaller business. Like, what did that exercise look like? Like, were you like doing all the work and then just kind of giving them a report, or were they engaged? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you definitely have to keep effective communication with them. I worked with a group of 5. It was 5 of us. So I wanted to be the main communicator with them, just so I can make sure things were both clear with the team and with the client we were working with. And you have to follow guidelines set by them. Like they want to keep their brand messaging consistent, and what their promotion looks like such as the colors and the fonts used. So you can't jump out of bounds on that. But at the same time, you do have to get creative and try to see what are ways we can push those limits to try to get people to, want to follow our brand and want to stay with us for a long time. So, yeah, it's all about communication. And you kind of have to push back a little bit when you feel like something that you do that is kind of new to them will work, but you have to kind of prove it in a sense. Do a little bit of A/B testing to kind of sell them on that.
Wow. So they were receptive to it from the get. They kind of understood the project, and I'm assuming you guys were doing it for free because you were students. So
Yeah.
there was no risk for them to do it. So they were like, "Oh yeah, sure,"
Yeah.
like that. So you didn't have to twist their arm. Did they actually implement what you guys came up with? Did they
Yeah.
do it?
Yeah, and they said it was helpful. We did have a budget. It was about $200 per platform or $100 per platform. So we would spend that money on kind of boosting our posts and creating advertisement through our 3-week campaign.
Mm, mm. So this was a social media thing.
Yeah.
Impressive. So you guys didn't just go sit down and just write a post on what you felt like that moment and post it. You actually did some research about it, huh?
Nah, we started off with the pre-campaign presentation. So this was pretty much a client overview. We looked at their social media, their metrics, what's working well, what's not working well. Did some like SWOT analysis. And then we created about 15 posts that we would release, or at least plan to release within the 3-week period.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we had a post-campaign presentation and pretty much just explain the results, why we did certain things that we did, why certain posts may have got more pull than others, stuff like that.
Okay. So there was something that was measurable. The action was measurable. It wasn't just, I'm going to post and hope to get viral.
Yeah.
It's like that. Oh,
yeah, it was a reason behind every detail. So.
Oh. Whoa. Jackpot. It said there was a reason behind every detail. Interesting. Very, very good.
That was insight right there, right?
Yeah.
That is a topic in itself. Now that's where we like to educate the people. So what do you mean by that? Expand on that, because that's a huge statement that you just made. I don't know if you really sunk in, because you could really use that for something. What's the look? Give me a little bit more on that statement.
Yeah. I mean, in class we learned, when we first learned about A/B testing, we learned that for example, it was like a color blue for one website, and they changed the color by like the smallest percentage of a shade. But since they did that change, it brought in way more clicks than it was the previous color. So just having certain details can, turn a customer, towards your brand, turn them away, keep them attached. So you definitely have to focus on the details.
Wow. Okay.
What are some of the other psychographics that can be involved in making the difference, right? Because I think that's now, does that color change that falls into a psychographic because of people's color preference or how they're drawn into certain things? What other psychographics do you feel that are impactful from your knowledge at this point?
Yeah, I mean, well, answer that I get a lot in marketing, even from my professors. If I ask a great question, they always say it depends. So I hate to give you that answer, but it definitely depends because, for example, we were also given another example of Disney World. At the front of the Disney park, they have the stores where they kind of, I think they have a smell. They have something that produces a smell, and it smells like Cinnabons. And that just keeps the people attracted in that area. So you have to appeal to all 5 senses, pretty much. So yeah, it does depend. But for me, I'm doing the visual appeal, so I'm doing minor things in our post to keep our viewers attracted.
Wow.
So thank you for that. So that was very. You're right about the Disney thing, and that can be applied to when you go into grocery stores as well. They have a certain smell. They have certain music. The products are positioned on shelves. Sunlight, lighting makes a difference as well. Certain areas that are colder in the store versus not colder. You know what I mean? So Flooring makes a difference. You know, when people walk on certain places, that makes whatever the food in that particular area
Right.
is attractive to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you go into
Don't get me
fruits and
started on the
vegetables.
casinos.
Yeah, you go into fruits and vegetables, and you got green around grass and brown for dirt that gives you that farm type of feel and that fresh smell and the mist of the spray hitting
Exactly.
the vegetables. You know what I mean? So I'm
You make it
definitely
sound real good.
it is. I'm just saying
I'm about to go to the store just to look.
it's
Yeah.
the subversion of thought, you know, and creating people habits, right? So we're always being programmed in anything. And to your other point, whenever you start out with it depends, you're actually going in the right direction because nothing is a composite, right? It always depends on, and then you can wrap that with different scenarios or give an example based off of that. So you're answering and your flow of communication and responses is perfect, right? Man, that's good stuff. That's really good stuff. Now, are you comfortable with the qualitative and the quantitative, you know, information that you review and then be able to spill out to people? Or is there areas that you find that piques your interest in that? Because I like qualitative and quantitative information. It just supports whatever it is you're trying to put out. How comfortable are you with that so far?
Yeah, I'm more comfortable with qualitative, I would say. I do want to learn more about quantitative and, you know, kind of the software I can use because I do feel like quantitative data is a extreme basis of reasoning. But at the same time, I love talking to people. I love reading body language, figuring out if they're actually interested in speaking to me or if they're just talking to me, you know, just to get me
Be
out the way.
nice. Right.
I'm better at qualitative, but I do want to grow more in quantitative.
You're a dangerous man, yo.
Yeah,
He's dangerous.
very dangerous. Yeah, he's dangerous. I mean, that's
give me another cup of coffee or something.
yeah. So I mean, well, let's throw out there, you know, what the difference is in those two types of data. I mean, quantitative. I'll let you say it. You the one with the recently right there. You know, explain the difference between qualitative and quantitative.
Yeah. Quantitative is numbers based and qualitative is I'm not sure what word I can give for it, but
It's soft. It's
yeah.
it's your gut. Yeah, you
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
But
It's people's characteristics and behaviors.
right.
It's,
Exactly.
yeah. So yeah, I pull in there when my sociology degree activates every now and then. So that's what
Yeah. I actually wish I would have got more into sociology.
yeah, I mean, well, I'm not going to go in here and say why I became a sociology major, but interestingly enough, I was doing some research the other night in how to marry sociology to the firm, and it was interesting the things that are kind of happening, but I didn't realize that I was doing them, and now cognizant, you know, I get cognizant, say, oh, okay, oh, yeah, we can do this to add those qualities in. But that's how I ended up. There was we studied markets and marketing, got a certification in the sociology. So that's how I got exposed to marketing. So it's always in the back of my mind. That's what one of the things I say uniquely about how I look at accounting and how I look at, you know, I have that because my first foray was really in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And what appears as everything was a lie. It was in the music industry. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. But I used to.
I was just about to ask, how does it like enhance your accounting experience?
The human aspect. The human. So a lot of the things that you're saying, and even the way we talk and the way we talk about biz therapy and things that I marry the qualitative and the quantitative aspects of accounting. So every transaction has a human behavior behind it. So if you buy something, there was a behavior behind it. If you sold something, if you collected money, if you bought a big piece of equipment, there's a story behind every transaction. And, one of my goals is to say, hey, understand. So when I talk to people, or I can take a financial statement, I've developed the skill of taking a financial statement, and I can infer stories before I even ask the question. And then over time, your experience lets you say, oh yeah, I know what happened here. And then, but then I also it helps me to explain these mundane accounting and tax things to people where they reside. So it's kind of like the marketing thing. I'm putting it where you understand it by the way, because I know where you are, because I'm understanding you. I know how to say it. So that's how it really helps me. And that's why but it's always keeping marketing, in tow. I mean, the items that you're speaking about, we're at a place in the firm now where I have to do more marketing, like what you're talking about, for the growth that we want. Hey, you can help me. So like the things that we have to do, one of the things is that as the in the direction, drive in the direction, I need to spend more time on marketing, which I don't necessarily mean posting on the internet or something. I mean understanding our current client base, understanding the universe of what our potential client base is, understanding where they are, figuring out how to get to them, and doing things like that. So this is a great topic for me. It's like, so I can geek out on this as much as I geek out on accounting. So that's just, where I'm at. So,
Yeah, on the front end of that question is where, so I'm a heavy business development sales guy. And so what I find from, and I do have tons of experience in marketing. I won't go into my history about it. What I will say is that because of marketing, because of focused marketing, because of haphazard marketing, because people just post and write content and put out just random stuff, down to the specific people that actually take the time to do the research and find the data and use the data appropriately. When I'm talking to clients or prospective clients, I should say, or targets, right? One of the things that I'm faced with is not only understanding their needs and seeing how what we provide, whether it's from the firm side, biz therapy side, or other, it's finding out what they've been, I guess, indoctrinated with in terms of information, what they've been programmed with, what when they're doing their research. Because we get quite a few people that say, yeah, we're calling around and we're talking to different organizations and different firms for XYZ services. All the services are the services. The delivery of the services are different, right? The culture and the vision and the mission of each organization is different, right? And so what we find is that there's one or two things that really drive people when they're dealing with us from a service point in the firm, right? Versus, I guess, the feel good or the visual aspects of a service being delivered to them. So what I mean by that specifically is we find that a lot of people want us to hold their hands because they're comfortable with that, because that's what they've been indoctrinated in. And so when they're Googling and they're looking around and they're reading reviews, they're following the crowd, and they're following what the crowd is saying, but not really tapping in to what their actual need is. So how do we understand that? Not only what we're delivering in terms of service, but how do we deliver that in terms of service? And how do we communicate it so we could be proactive in getting them the information on how we work as an organization, right? What is our fit? Because it's not just about what fits for them, it's about what works for us as well and who fits for us. But how do we communicate that so it's not abrasive, it's not overwhelming, it's not misunderstood? And so that's always the qualitative work, the quantitative work, the research that's always being done in the front end of the sales aspect, right? And I know that you notice sales and marketing, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but sales and marketing, they work together, right? But the people that drive the sales and marketing don't like each other.
Right.
Right. And because they don't like each other, they make those two items not work cohesively, because marketing is the long game. Sales and salespeople is the short game, because they just trying to get to that money. They trying to close the sale, hit those metrics. And so that's where a lot of the messaging and the approach to it gets confusing and gets kind of thrown off, right? And so throughout my journey of it, what I've always focused on was the marketing aspect and marrying the marketing and the delivery side to sales. I'm actually giving out an ingredient right now, but it's okay. I've been doing it for a long time, right? So again, yeah. So I've always focused on the marketing, the long term of the marketing and the delivery side, and I marry those two to the sales because it's everlasting, it's gripping, right? It makes it about something, not just a one-off, right? And why I say that is, they say timing is everything. We don't control time. Time controls itself. So if somebody doesn't buy today, doesn't mean they're not going to buy tomorrow. No. And if they don't buy today, I may not need them to buy today. I might need them to buy tomorrow to hit that number. Or to hit, because as a business owner, you have to grow. That's the only reason you're in business, is to provide services, and you have to grow, right? So when you're delivering, you're communicating with people, consumers, prospective clients, and they need to purchase something. What is the desire, that urging desire, that pain point that needs to be resolved either now or soon to come? Or they actually got through whatever they needed and they need something else that we may be able to provide. And be able to provide it might just be a floor for listening to them, giving them some insight and coaching them along. And that kind of goes into, not just the firm, but into biz therapy as well, right? Where we provide a platform for overwhelmed business owners and underutilized businesses. You know what I'm saying?
Nice slide. That's a nice slide there.
So, the market, the sales and marketing, I've always found it very unique throughout my years of working in businesses, corporations with sales and marketing. And I was always looking under the hood, because I want to know where's that little hole in the hose. You can't see it, but it's there because something's leaking. And then it took me X amount of years to try to actually figure out what that is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. Well, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this is an interesting comment.
I was just about to get to that comment.
Okay, I'm gonna put it up for the viewers. This is an easy episode.
Yeah. So what stood out to me was her last point when she said it's not about the selling as it is more about the teaching. I kind of I've been learning a lot more about sales, both for the industry purposes and for the purposes of applying it to life. So I kind of see sales as an educational role. You kind of have to educate the people you're selling to about the product and about their needs. So people both have active and latent needs. An active need is something that they're actively trying to, fulfill. And a latent need is something that they realize that isn't a need just yet, but it will be a need soon. So sales is more about teaching them or educating them that your product will fulfill their needs.
Yeah. I mean, we can definitely get into the trenches of it, but when you don't sell anybody anymore, it's people buy based off of who they like and based off of what can be solved. Do you put a Band-Aid on it, or do you get some stitches, right, to close up the wound? It all depends on. It depends. I mean, use your words, right? But when you're a business owner and you're communicating your KPIs, you know, when you look at a financial statement, you're looking at those keywords in sales, revenue, income, gross profit. That's the mindset, or the perspective, I should say, that you're looking from that level. So you got that high level, and you bring it from the top down to the ground, right? Especially those that are really focused on understanding and driving the true essence of business, you know, and not just sticking to keywords, because words are words, right? Words are words. But yeah, no, that's some good stuff, man. You got any questions for us?
Well, let me just real quick. That's what Donna is saying here is covered, well, explored in the book Utility by Jay Baer.
Yeah, I read that one.
And it's about the fact that your marketing, I mean, what everybody's saying in the chat, it's relationships anyway. But if you're teaching people, that means you're giving something, you're pouring into them first. It makes them more attracted to come into you or whatever you're trying to work on in your business. So it's a good book. Definitely a good book. Took me 5.5. It took me a little while to remember the name. I had to go look in my library. There's so many books, but yeah, that's the thesis there. So yeah, it's a lot of it. But I think not to confuse. I think it's sticking to the marketing part where we're trying to identify who our people are. And that's the marketing, the practice of marketing. That's the goal of marketing, is to identify who they are and what moves them, so that your messages are more effective. And you know, you don't, when it gets back to media accounting, you don't waste money marketing by trying to scatter shot to everybody and seeing what's happening. But in terms of the goal you're trying to get. So yeah, this is lively discussion. But back, yes, do you have questions?
One more thing I was going to say to that. I did leave out the point about building relationships. I don't know how I forgot to mention that, but yeah, you do educate them so they can trust you, and you build that credibility for yourself, so they know to trust you, you know, now and long term in the future, so you can keep that and maintain that relationship with them. So thanks to Mr. Gregory and Donna for that.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, that's the foundation of everything, is the relationship. You know,
that's right.
And yeah, so no, that's really good. And listen, you gave me some homework to do today. You know, you gave me, you know, then you put some diesel in my tank. So you know, thank you. I was a little sluggish this morning. You know, and telling you, it's about the youth, man. You know, I just turned the age. Christian was here with me too, celebrating. You know,
he was at the
he
off.
was in the building. He was in the building. He was in the building. You know, Pop, there go that bottle for you, Pop. Have at it.
Okay.
Make sure you had a good time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? But yeah. But no, this is good stuff. You know, and you know, we got lights, camera, action on you. We're gonna follow your journey. We're gonna be a part of your journey if you keep us there. And you know, the people, they're gonna see your journey as well, because you know we might make you might end up just being number 3 on the show. All right, so I'm putting it out there live. Now we're gonna be held accountable for you.
Put it up. You might be number 1.
Yeah, well that too. I mean, you gotta go. We gotta start somewhere. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, keep going on with your journey. Keep you know. Just stay at it. You're right on it. You're fresh on top of how things work, right? And so just keep using that information and do your research and talk to people and keep asking all of the questions, even if you don't think it's the right question. Just ask them anyway and get the answers you get. Use what you can. I don't really have to tell you that. I've been around. I've watched your journey. you know, and I'm proud of your journey. You know, you and the other fellas, and my son as well. You know, all of y'all my sons, right? So, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm very impressed by it, and you know, now you got to teach people that's coming behind you, and you can still teach us, you know, old fogies, the ones that got the little grays in their beard, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll tell you this much: you. They always say you're in the right place at the right time. I don't know if I want to use that cliche. All I would say is that we're in the stage of life where being business owners is very, very much at the top of people's list. We just have to get comfortable with two things. Number one is marketing. That's the first thing. And I think you being in that industry and having that skill set and knowledge is going to be top placement for small businesses, micro businesses as well. So they could go from micro businesses to small businesses so they could get comfortable, right? And then sales. So if you can get your marketing into place, the selling part is you're not selling, it's just them buying, and it goes into your sales KPI. That's it, right? So, but those are the two most important things, and that's what defines what being in business is, along with having a great product or service to fulfill people's needs. You know what I mean? So those would be the top three tiers. But I would just say, just keep digging, dig hard as you can, you know, and dig, and just don't stop digging until you hit gold, because it's down there.
No doubt.
Right.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate you for having me on. If I didn't learn something from you two guys, I also learned stuff from the chat. So I definitely appreciate you for bringing me on to this. I didn't expect to wake up on a Saturday morning on a live phone call in front of a chat, but I'm happy to bring my insights and learn something from you too. So
cool. Well, we look forward to having you back in again. So
absolutely.
I don't know what weather is there, but anyway, you're going to either go back to sleep or go back out and do it.
Nah, he's got more meetings, man. He's already gave me a schedule for the day.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he one of us. He already.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, then I know what you're doing the rest of the day. Well, you know, we're not gonna hold you up because this is your community service. You ain't making no money over here right now, so yeah. I
gotta keep my Saturdays busy.
I understand. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and
thank you.
I'll certainly be in touch with you. So that's my mind has been turning. That's why I was quiet. So I'm holler at you.
Sure.
All right, bro.
Christian, call me after your meeting, okay?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right, cool. I'll talk to you soon. All right, take care.
Yeah, man. So we that didn't go the way I planned in a good way.
Right.
That was awesome. I want to shout out a couple of people here. My cousin was in there, Karen Heyward, Donna Rousseau. She dipped already, but she's involved in this chef competition. I was going to tell her I couldn't break in there to put the link in the chat for people to vote for her. She's in a competition to be a top chef deal. But she got out of here before we had it. I'll try to put the link in the Facebook chat and on YouTube. So, but that was good, man. I needed that. We need to do more of that, man.
Yeah.
Everybody be super young, but we need to do more. But we had a target list anyway.
Yeah.
We had it because for 85. Well, we've had CJ. We have him twice. For about 80 episodes, we've been blabbing on the stuff we say, and now to put context to it is important. And if there's anyone that you feel that we should bring on, do not hesitate. Email their name and contact information to podcast@Heyward-CPA.com, and we'll reach out to them and get them on. Because as I always said, this thing is not about sitting up here and you listen to us and we whatever, the grand poobahs sit around here and, just do that. It's about information. To build on what you were saying, here it comes now. Now I'm ready. So now I'm ready. But in one of my spirited discussions that I had this week, it's I think we're in an era of information, and right now the information is being used surface level, a lot for hee ha ha's, a lot of information going out like that. But the information is so readily available to everyone. It's everywhere, almost too much, but it's not being used. And my point behind that is this: there's some of us who are plain business person. We're a business person. We know what we do, because that's the safe place. I'm good at what I do. That's the safe place. But on the other hand, they start talking about this. They might look at somebody else. Look, I want my business to be successful like them. But they don't want to take any steps to increase their knowledge or learn something. They want to get to the next step doing exactly what they do now. And in this spirited conversation with he who remains nameless, I make the point over and over again, especially when it comes to our community, that there's been a lot of stuff that we've been out here. One of the undertones of civil rights, especially, was equality. We can do what you can do. And now there's undertone that we have to be better than what you can do than XYZ. We've touted these things that we can do that we're equal and better at. But certain things, when there's resistance, we don't know how to do. I don't know nothing about that. That troubles me. So we equal to a standard, an external standard. But when we get to something that's us, and we need to step to another level, regardless of what the other playing field has going on, we start talking about what we don't know. I ain't learned that. I'm not good at math. I ain't got no time to learn no computer. I ain't got none of that. But yet we want, So what is it? What is it? That's what I say. What is it? I don't know. But I hear too many of that. And what my thing is, I guess it's handout, but you don't even know what you want to hand it to you. My point is this: I'm not accepting it. I'm just not accepting it. So that's what I say. People can say that, but I don't accept it. Not just saying, okay, whatever. You got the same Chat GPT and Google and whatever else that anybody else does. You got the same one. If something can happen in the community socially or in entertainment, everybody knows it in 2.5 minutes. But you're going to tell me that you don't know about this, you can't learn this and that. It's a comfort zone thing. It's a comfort zone. If you want something, and especially in business, or you running anything, if you're moving, just your life, okay? Job, you want to increase your job. We're in a world now where you have to constantly improve yourself. It's no longer, I go to school, stop, I'm done. I don't have to learn nothing else. It's a fact. That's just how it's going to be going forward. And it just chaps me because, granted, I am blessed to be able to spend time to even think about this and to, sit around and look and play with LLMs and which is language, the AIs, all right? And all these AI tools. And right now it's on overload. Everybody's like, oh, it's AI, this, and that. What I'm preparing for is when it settles, when it becomes part of the regular activity, when it's really being used for proficiency, for effectiveness. Right now, it's the new toy. It's like the internet was. It was the new toy. And everything, people like, yo, look, I can do this. They're not really even reading what they're pulling up on the AI. Because they already have figured out what the tells are on AI to tell if it's an AI written deal. So if you don't have a voice or understanding of what you're generating, You know, like we can see the stuff now, and it gets better. But one thing I warn everybody of is that the AI is starting to become smarter than the recipient. So just like Christian was saying, in a marketing standpoint, at some point, some of this AI generated stuff is going to be too sophisticated for the people consuming it. And soon the robot overlords will take us all over. But anyway, just saying. So what I say is that, you know, if you're in business, if you're running an organization, if you want to do something that you want a hobby, you know, you're trying to figure out your next job, your next career move. You know, you might have been working 30 years. You're like, you know what? I'm over this, man. I want to do something else. I just want to do something else. We're at that point in this world where you can do it, but you have to get uncomfortable to do it. You have to. You have to learn. Sorry, school's not really out. You have to go back to school yourself. Your own curriculum.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, no one's looking for you.
Uncomfortable. Yeah.
There's no midterm grades. There's none of that. There's no carrot at the end. You have to do it because you want to learn it. And that's really the bottom line of what I'm saying. If you have to want to learn. And we're in a knowledge-based economy where people are getting paid to talk. There's people making a lot of money to do what we just did for the last hour. So we're not one of them, by the way. But but there's people that's doing that. We can get into that stuff. It's different, but there are people that I'm saying not even in a sensationalism. People are getting speaking engagements. They're getting things like this, but they've learned, whether it be experience or they've gotten a bigger vocation. So I just say to all our folks out there, this is not the time to hang it up. It's not time. Learn something, even if it's learning how to knit. If you're learning how to draw, if you always say, you know, I wanted to paint or something. You know, my parents would never buy me the set. So they told me I wasn't gonna make no money being an artist. So okay, you made your life. You know what? You can go learn to do it now. It's all right. Got the opportunity. But I just cannot accept that people can't change, or this particular group of business people, you know, they don't know enough. They don't do all this stuff. They ain't gonna learn that. I'm not accepting it. I'm just flat out not accepting it. So if you come to me telling me about what you can't do or you won't do or you don't want to do, you're gonna sound like the teacher from the Peanuts to me, because I'm not gonna listen. And with that, I yield my time. I don't even know where that came from. Oh my goodness. I need a beverage. Not that kind of beverage. This is just water.
In the words of C.T. Fletcher, he's a famous bodybuilder. He's still around though. It's still, he says it very vulgar, which I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
But it's still your set.
True.
You're in the gym working out with somebody, and you taking turns. Your set is your set. No one else can do your set. It's still your set. So with that in mind, just think of it as an exercise. And make it fun. I mean, it's not always fun, you know. But I think it's, to your point, what I think is being comfortable, being uncomfortable, but you have to by surrounding yourself with good people. How do you do that? First, you be a good person. You figure out.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, you be a good person. You like attracts like, to be honest. And I think if you have good values and you're purpose driven, those people will attract to you. They'll recognize who you are. You'll recognize who they are, and it'll synergize together. And you just take your walk, right? And again, it all boils down, whether you're doing business or externally or internally, It's always and only is people, the relationship with people. And, I think we take for granted a lot of different things. We all want things, good things, great things to happen to us, which is cool. But the things that we don't want to happen to us, that do happen to us, there has to be a sense of gratitude in that once you understand why those things happen, right? Because you could have made a bad decision because, you might have been on something, or you made a bad decision. It might have not been a bad decision, but it was a bad decision based off of what you knew. And you just need to learn more. So you just got to go back and retake that class. And there has to be some sort of gratitude given for that, because gratitude works in both ways. Things happen for you, right? And things happen against you, but they actually happen for you. We just look at it like it's against us, or it's not happening in our own time, and we feel some kind of way. We change our mood, our mindset. We get negative. We talk down about it, and it's actually working in our favor, because if we always got everything we wanted, will we really want it?
What would you
And will
do?
we are we really willing to pay the price for that too? Everything has that. Everything got a consequence and a price that flow behind that, And so it all boils down to, who you are and what you're comfortable with, and where you are in based off of your fear.
That's right.
And your peace. You know what I mean? So on that, I fall back. This is not Sunday yet.
Oh, but speaking of Sunday, I mean, we have a little thing. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at changes. That's one of your things. You rhyming over there. So that's the way we're gonna wrap up this week. We came a minute early and we a minute over. You got bonus time, but this was going on, man. I just had to. I always got something to say. So it's all good though, man. But it's things that need to be put out here in the ether, man. Don't talk me to
Hit us up. Heyward-CPA.com. Schedule your consultation. Let's talk about it. So we can be about it and get you to where you need to be. Biz Therapy Coaching, BIZ therapycoaching.com. Hit us up. Check out our workshops. We got some team organization workshops coming to you soon. We got a few in play right now, but if you're a business owner and you got a team and you need people to understand where your vision and your mission, and you don't know how to delegate it and lay it out and train them, reach out to us. We'll get them trained up and go from there. So, come and talk to us. Come and sit with us. Drop us some comments on podcasts at Heyward-CPA.com. Leave us some questions. Leave us some thoughts. Leave us some concerns. And we're going to address it. And if we can't address it, we're going to get somebody to address it.
Good for that.
That's right. So, so buckle up, because summer's here. Let's get busy. Don't get busy. Let's get busy.
No doubt. So that was good. Peace. We out. We just dropping it. We dropping the mic on that. Peace.